Add and subtract. Example 1. Clark spent 1.5 hours to complete a tune-up, 0.2 hours to clean the battery, and 0.3 hours to change the engine oil and filter, and 2.3 hours to service the air conditioning system. What is the total time spent on the vehicle that was serviced? So you can see with this problem, we're going to add up multiple numbers together. So we have 1.5. We're going to make sure we line up all the decimals, right? We have 0.2, 0.3, and then 2.3. Let's now add these together. So we have 4 numbers. So we look to the number, of course, to the right of the decimal because it's the furthest right. So we would go so we have the 0.5. So we have 5 plus 2, that's 7 plus 3 is 10, plus 3 is 13. And then we just put the 3 below, and then we're going to carry that 1 to the 1 spot. So now we have 1 plus 1 is 2, plus 2 is 4. And then we forgot to put that decimal there, and then we'll put a 4 right there. So we would say the time spent on the vehicle that was serviced was 4.3 hours. Let's do another example. A customer needs an air filter change for $18.45, an oil change for $79.80, and a headlight replaced for $105. What is the total bill before tax? So once again, we are adding all of these numbers together. So let's go ahead and start writing them out. So we have 18.45, 79.80, and then we have 105. Now notice we have nothing after the decimal for 105, so we're just going to add 2 zeros. So it kind of keeps to the same rules. If we need to add some zeros after the decimal place to keep them all the same, we just add zeros. Now we've lined these up right because all the decimals are aligned, and so now all the columns are correct. So now we can start adding once again to the far right. So we have this 5 plus 0 plus 0. So that's just 5. Then we move to the left. We have 4 plus 8, which is 12, plus 0, so 12. So we put the 2 below, and we carry that 1. Then we carry that decimal straight down. Now we can go 1 plus 8, which is equal to 9, plus 9 is 18, plus 5, which is 23. So we would put the 3 below, and then we'd carry that 2 to the next, to the 10 spot. So now we have 2 plus 1, which is 3, plus 7, which is 10, plus 0, so still 10. So we have a 0 there, and we carry that 1 to the 100 spot. So now we have this 1 and this 1. So 1 plus 1 is 2. So now we have our total bill before tax, which is $203.25. And let's do another example. Gabe has traveled 4,567 miles in the past 2 months. In the first month, he traveled 1,368 miles for work. The second month, he traveled 1,525 miles for work. How many miles in those 2 months are considered just personal? So for this problem, let's set it up. We have this kind of the total miles, and then we need to subtract the next 2 miles because both were for work, and we're trying to figure out what was just personal. So here we have 4,567. Then we would subtract this first number. So minus 1,368 minus 1,525. So that is how we would set up the problem to solve. So one way we could also do this is we could add these 2 numbers first and then subtract it from the 4,567. let's go ahead and do that method. So we have 1,368 plus 1,525 because we're adding up all the miles to work. So we have 8 plus 5, which is equal to 13, and we're going to carry that 1. So 1 plus 6 is 7, plus 2, which is 9. Then we move to the left. We have 3 plus 5, which is 8, and then 1 plus 1 is 2. So now we have determined the number of hours, miles for work. So the next step would be to take this number, 4,567, and we're going to subtract this 2,893. So then we can get just miles for personal. So now we'd go 7 minus 3, which is equal to 4. 6 minus 9, which can't be done because 6 is smaller than 9. So we need to borrow from the 5. So 5 minus 1 is 4. So we borrow a whole 1 from it. And that 6 now becomes 16. So 16 minus 9 is 7. 4 minus 8 can't be done. So we're going to need to borrow again. So that becomes a 3. And then we're going to carry that 1 to the 14. So now we have 14 minus 8, which is 6. Now 3 minus 2 is equal to 1. So miles that are personal is 1,674. And that would be the solution to this problem.